Now let's see the internal structure of the pons. When we take a cross section to see the internal structure of the pons at the different level, we can find the two important structures. One is situated anteriorly, and this large anterior portion which is called as the basilar part. This basilar part, it is common in any level of the section of the pons, while the tegmental part having the different structure at the different level of the pons. This anterior basilar part of the pons, it is actually the continuation from the cerebral peduncle of the midbrain above, and below it is continuous with the pyramids of this medulla oblongata. And on the each side, this basilar part, it is continuous with the middle cerebellar peduncle to communicate with the cerebellum. This posterior tegmental part, it contains so many nuclei of the cranial nerve along with some important structures we are going to learn shortly. Now let's see the structures within this basilar part of the pons. In this basilar part of the pons, we can find three types of the fibers along with some pontine nuclei also there. And these three types of the fibers, some of them are longitudinally arranged, so we can see a bundle, rounded bundle in case of the transverse section of the pons. And these fibers are the fibers which are coming from the cortex and going to reach up to the spinal cord or to the nuclei of the cranial nerve. So these bundles are the fibers of the corticonuclear and corticospinal fibers. So let's orient with these fibers here. Let's see, this is the front view of the brain stem, and this one is the spinal cord. Here there will be the cerebrum lies. The fibers starting from this cortex, it will passes downward and through the midbrain it will reach up to the pons, and from the pons it will reach up to the medulla oblongata. At the lower part of the medulla oblongata, these fibers are going to decussate and reach up to the contralateral side of the spinal cord. And these longitudinal fibers, these are called as the corticospinal tract. Some fibers, they will start from this cortex and it will reach up to the cranial nerve nuclei of the opposite side to supply the muscles or the content or the other structures from this cranial nerve. And this type of the fibers, these are the corticonuclear fibers. And some fibers, they will pass from the cortex, it will reach up to the pons and it relay into the pontine nuclei present within the pons horizontally contralaterally to the cerebellum, where it is going to relay as the cortico-pontocerebellar tracts. So when we take section of this pons, we can find these three types of the fibers within the basilar part of this pons along with the pontine nuclei present scattered between the fibers. So we can see these fibers from the pontine nuclei of the one side crosses to the opposite side and running to the cerebellum. Sometimes this pontine nuclei may displace to the medulla oblongata, and at that time, and when this displacement of the pontine nucleus to the medulla oblongata is there, this nuclei within the medulla oblongata are called arcuate nuclei. So the fibers from the cortex to the arcuate nuclei to the cerebellum, these fibers are called as cortico-arcuatocerebellar tracts. When we see this tegmental part, we can see one large trapezoid body is present, and this trapezoid body, it is nothing but these are the interconnecting fibers of cochlear nuclei. So let's orient with this trapezoid body. We already know that at the pontomedullary junction, most laterally, the 8th cranial nerve is going to arise, and internally this 8th cranial nerve having cochlear nuclei, and these are the ventral and the dorsal cochlear nuclei on each side. along with the vestibular nuclei. But from the cochlear nuclei, the nerves are going to attach, and this nerve, it is the cochlear nerve, and this cochlear nerve will carry the sense of hearing from the each ear. When this cochlear nerve reaches this ventral and the dorsal cochlear nucleus, these fibers, they are going to intermingle with the same side and of the contralateral side and form one trapezoid body, havoc-like structure, that is the trapezoid body. After forming this hammock type of the structure, these fibers passes upward, and these fibers are called as the lateral lemniscus. And this lateral lemnisci, they will reach up to the inferior colliculi of this midbrain, and where this lateral colliculi is going to communicate with the medial geniculate body through the inferior brachium. So when we take section at this lower level, we can find the cochlear nuclei along with the trapezoid body, but when we take the section at the mid-pontine or above that level, we will find the lateral lemnisci instead of this trapezoid body and the cochlear nuclei. So here, when we see this section at the lower side of the pons, we can see this trapezoid body. Along with this trapezoid body, we can see this ventral and the dorsal cochlear nuclei. Here this is the ventral cochlear nucleus and this one is the dorsal cochlear nucleus. Just in front of this trapezoid body, we will find the medial lemniscus, one on each side, and just lateral to this medial lemniscus, we will find the spinal lemnisci. Medial lemniscus, it is nothing but it is the ascending sensory fibers from the nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus and passing upward after sensory decussation, which you have already learned in the medulla oblongata. And just lateral to this is the spinal lemniscus, and the spinal lemniscus, it is also the ascending sensory fibers from the lateral spinothalamic tract and anterior spinothalamic tract along with the spinotactal tract, and this lemniscus you have already learned in the medulla oblongata too. Within this tegmental portion, one important thing, that is the facial colliculi, we can see on the posterior aspect, and this facial colliculi just because of the wrapping fibers of the facial nerve around the sixth cranial nerve nuclei. So here this is the sixth cranial nerve nuclei, and these fibers are the seventh cranial nerve nuclei, which are passes ventral, then medial, then dorsal, and after coming out from this dorsal aspect, it will pierces the spinal lemnisci to continue as the seventh nerve. So on the same side, these fibers of this facial nerve will passes like this. And because of this internal arcuate fiber of this facial nerve, the elevation form on the back of the pons at the floor of the fourth ventricle, and this elevation, it is popularly named as the facial colliculi. Why this kind of the wrapping of the facial nerve around the sixth cranial nerve is there? We will see after the orientation of the trigeminal nerve nuclei within this section of the pons. For the trigeminal nerve nuclei within this section, let's see one more figure for the orientation. This is the lateral view of this brainstem, which is continuous with the spinal cord below. At the mid-pontine region, the main sensory nucleus of the trigeminal nerve lies, and from this main principal pontine nucleus, one extension towards the brainstem, one extension towards the midbrain, that is the mesencephalic nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, and extension below up to the upper part of the spinal cord through the medulla oblongata, and this is the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve is there. So sensory nucleus of the trigeminal nerve having three portions: the principal pontine nuclei, mesencephalic nuclei in the midbrain, and extension into the medulla oblongata and up to the upper part of the spinal cord is the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. And from here, the fibers from the trigeminal spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve, the fibers passes upward, and these fibers they are called as the tract of the trigeminal nerve. So when we take any section at the pons below this principal pontine nucleus, we will find the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve covered with the spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve. And at the mid-pontine level, the section, we will find the main principal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. Along with that main principal nucleus, medially we will find the motor nucleus of the trigeminal nerve also. So here in this figure, the section at lower part of the pons, we can see the trigeminal nerve nucleus, which is covered by the tract of the trigeminal nerve. This trigeminal nerve, it is the main sensory supply to the face, while this facial nerve, it is the main motor supply to the face. And that's why for the quick reflexes with the sensory as well as the motor coordination of the facial muscles, this facial nerve, it is going to wrap around the sixth cranial nerve and move towards the trigeminal nerve. And this movement of the facial nerve towards the trigeminal nerve, this process, it is called as a neurobiotaxis. And this is the reason why this facial nerve is going to wrap around the abducent nerve to come closer to this trigeminal nerve and forming the facial colliculi back of the lower part of the pons. Along with this fifth cranial nerve, sixth cranial nerve and the seventh cranial nerve nuclei, we find the cochlear as well as the vestibular nuclei, and this vestibular nuclei, it is also present within this tegmental portion. So within the section of the lower part of the pons, we can see this sixth cranial nerve nuclei, seventh cranial nerve nuclei, fifth cranial nerve nuclei and eighth cranial nerve nuclei. Along with this, few other nuclei also present within this lower part of the pons, and one of them is the small nuclei near the facial nerve, and this is the superior salivatory nucleus. Within the midline, there are three important structures are also present, and one of them, it is the medial longitudinal fasciculus. It is most posteriorly situated, and just in front of the medial longitudinal fasciculus, we will find the tectospinal tract and rubrospinal tract. This is the coronal section of the brainstem, where we can see the third cranial nerve nuclei at the superior colliculi, the fourth cranial nerve nuclei at the inferior colliculi, the sixth cranial nerve nuclei at the lower part of the pons, the vestibular nuclei at the lateral part of the spontomedullary junction, and the 11th cranial nerve nuclei also present at the lower part of the medulla oblongata. This medial longitudinal fasciculus, it is nothing but it is the intercommunication between all the nuclei of the one side of the third, fourth, sixth and eighth cranial nerve along with the spinal accessory nerve to the opposite sided all these nuclei. And this intermingling fibers, they will form one tract, and this tract, it is called as the medial longitudinal fasciculus. This medial longitudinal fasciculus, it is responsible for the coordination of the head along with the eye. So when we take section of the pons at any level, we will find this medial longitudinal fasciculus. And the other two, tectospinal and the rubrospinal, they are the part of the extrapyramidal system, one from starting from this tectospinal, starting from the tectum of the midbrain to the spinal cord, and the rubrospinal tract which is going to start from the red nucleus of the midbrain to the spinal cord, and these are concerned with the extrapyramidal system.